So with the Knicks, man, obviously we have another topic in relations to the Knicks after this, but what do you think the Knicks have to do moving forward? Do you think any personnel changes from a player standpoint they need to do or anything like that?
I mean, I think they're really in a tough situation and kind of hamstrung because you gave up like six first round picks for a role player in Bridges, which is like I still can't believe that the Nets were able to fleece them like that for a player who's never even really been close to being an all-star. He doesn't really do a lot in his game outside of scoring, and his defense was kind of lacking this whole series as well. So yeah, I think they're just it's not like they have a lot of assets because they used him to get him and they also used him to get OG Anunoby or Anunoby, how you say his last name. Um,
Hmm.
it's like, it's funny we talk about you need these role players to build a championship team, but for instance, Aaron Nesmith, they got, and of course they developed him, but like they got him from the Celtics for like cash
South,
considerations.
yeah,
Like that's
that's
what you're supposed to be
crazy.
doing for a role player. You're not supposed to be trading five first round picks for a role player, even a high end role player. So
Hmm.
I heard some people kind of floating around Cat for KD. I like that actually because I feel like, of
Hmm.
course, KD is much older, he's injury prone, but I feel like he gives you like a 2 year window to actually win versus Cat is, I think it's Cat is fine. He's a good player, but I think your two best players can't be defensive liabilities. And that's what it is with him and Brunson.
Yes,
And I think that,
I agree.
yeah, and then when you have Hart isn't really that great defensively anymore, and Bridges wasn't amazing defensively, so you really just have OG out there. And yeah. So I think that it's also tough because they just traded for Cat. But if you're
Hmm.
able to find somebody that you can get a better value, and then also now if Mitchell Robinson can at least just shoot like 60% from the free throw line, he can be out there and be your starting center, and that makes you better defensively as well. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
his free throw percentage is terrible. That's why it's tough to keep him out there. But
Yeah.
I think they still have decent pieces. You need to add a piece or two to the bench, especially now with hopefully someone else, a different voice in the locker room will actually play their bench. But yeah, I think they're in a tough situation when it comes to improving the team. But clearly the team was good enough to make it to the conference final. So, it's not like they have to do a whole lot, I would say. And the East is going to be wide open
Yeah.
again next year, I feel like.
I was just about to say that. The East is about to be wide open, obviously, with Tatum's Achilles injury and then Damian Lillard's Achilles injury. We don't know what's about to happen with the 76ers. They're looking washed right now, at least with their two superstars. So, really, it's probably,
One
at least for
superstar.
now, at least for
Paul
now, it's
George
looking
has not
like
been that.
yeah, he hasn't been that brand name. But yeah, Cavs and the Pacers right now are looking like the teams to be reckoned with, at least going into next season. If 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 they continue to improve, which I think they will as well too. Um, but yeah, like I said, the Pacers press full court. Jalen Brunson is more of a combo guard to me, but if you're not gonna utilize your depth, like you gotta get another playmaker, and that was pretty evident with that team as well too. Like DeLon Wright is washed now. Like he's
Yeah.
not. He was decent back in the day, like 2018-19 with Toronto before he got traded. Like and he had solid years afterwards. Landry Shamet is really like he tries to be a two-way type player, but he really doesn't put the ball on the floor like that. He's not a point guard, and Cameron Payne not really as well too. So you're asking Jalen Brunson to kind of do a lot and also not only beat that, but also score most of the points for them and also facilitate for them. And like you said, Josh Hart, they put him in positions to kind of bring the ball up and take and alleviate that pressure. He's not the best decision maker, more of a Swiss Army knife. And OG Anunoby and what's his name, Mikal Bridges aren't playmakers like that as well too. So playmakers will be good. Cat and OG both. Cat's contract's kind of crazy. He's making $53 million next year. And then OG Anunoby is making $39 million next year. So I think OG Anunoby's contract's more favorable and I think he's more value. and it sucks because I would love him on that team, like you said, especially for his two-way prowess. But that may be the team, right? I mean, that may be the player right there where they may have to offload as well too. And then I think, let me see here. It looks like everybody else is intact. I mean, the ones that we kind of listed that they try to play somewhat with Tibbs, all are going to be free agents next year. So yeah, you're right. Either Karl Anthony Towns has to go, or OG Anunoby has to go, and they have to kind of figure things out as well too. But luckily, outside of Cat's contract, and then obviously with Jalen Brunson's deal that he kind of put into play, with the extension that he signed, like everyone has pretty friendly deal as well too. And honestly, maybe if they did have a different coach, the outcome would have been different. Like you said, if they won game one, this whole series is a lot different as well too. So maybe it's like the Mark Jackson situation where he can only take them but so far, and then Steve Kerr comes in and just changes that whole dynamic as well too. So